All right. Thanks for staying with Sunrise. So a planned home birth can be a rewarding experience. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, home births are encouraged, but it's important that you consider the benefits and drawbacks. Plan accordingly and understand the risk if this is an option you're considering. Let's welcome registered midwife Simone Cooper Bernard to educate us more. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise, Simone.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Well. So to start off, we want to find out, why did you decide to become a midwife?
You know, I have to tell you, and I was born to be a midwife. I believe I was born to be a midwife. I never had another job option in mind, and I did not stop until I was eligible to be accepted at midwifery school, and here I am today.
So how did you first hear about midwifery, or, you know, even just this profession?
I love mothers, I love babies, and I knew I had to do something with regards to delivery. I just love that part, and it has become a reality, and I am doing very well in that field.
All right. Okay, and you're a mother yourself, right? Were midwives there for you during your birthing experiences? Did you experience the support of a midwife?
Oh, yes, both times. And when I talk to persons, I tell them that, listen, my 2 deliveries, one was a vaginal delivery, and that was something because I had somewhat what we would call a macrosomic baby. So it was a big baby. I had a baby who was almost 10 pounds. And let me tell you, it was traumatizing for me bodily, but I'm talking about persons being there for me. It was on point. It was on point. And then the other delivery was a cesarean section. So I've had the experience of both.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So to date, you have helped to deliver over 300 babies. And we said in the opening that we're seeing a trend where people are now more open to doing home deliveries. Why do you really think that's so? And is it specific to some parishes?
No, it's all parishes of Jamaica. And based on my understanding, home deliveries have been done for a long time. It's just that the education is not there. So many persons are, when I introduce this to many persons, they're like, really? Is there such a thing? They thought it was a thing of the past, you know? So I'm on a drive among my other midwives to bring this practice back. And it is being accepted readily by many of the mothers, and we have seen an increase in home deliveries island-wide, especially in the pandemic, where some persons said that they were scared to go to the hospital. We never once said don't go. They made that decision, right? To say, okay, I'm having my baby in the comfort of my home. Who doesn't want that? I am not high risk and such the like. So we have seen increase since the pandemic.
What is the training like? What's the program in place for midwifery, right? I know varying organizations or institutions carry the course itself, but can you explain what kind of training you get as a midwife?
Certainly. In my time, which was 2013 to 2016, the government was funding that program, so I did 2 years in school, where you had to, there were 2 years, you would have had to complete that training. You would have had to sit an exam that is set by the Council of Jamaica. And upon passing that, then you are considered certified as a registered midwife. Now, there is a little change. So it is no longer being done that way, whereas you do 2 years. So the University of Technology has now taken over that program, where you do 4 years now and you get your Bachelor's of Science in registered midwifery.
Oh, okay.
Nice. So you do have some tips for us that, you know, we're going to use to educate our viewers on home delivery. So let's start with the first tip that you'd like to share.
All right. So first of all, I'd like to say, who doesn't want to have their baby in the comfort of their home? Your partner gets to be there, right? It is free. It is free once it is being done by a midwife in the primary care. All right, it is free of cost.
But hold on, aren't there things that I would have to, aren't there things that I would have to buy before I allow the midwife to come in or assess if the space is really, you know, suitable to give birth at home?
Well, for every patient that is going to be a home delivery client, we do a home assessment prior. So upon us assessing the home and what's happening around the client, we will decide. But the only thing that we require is that the client have certain amenities like, well, we do bring our stuff with us, but just in case, we ensure that their bags are packed as if they're going to the hospital, right? So we plan ahead. So you don't say, okay, I'm going to do a home birth, so I don't need to do anything. We ensure the mother is ready just in case. And I say just in case she has to go to the hospital, she is ready and going.
So is there a cost for this pre-assessment? Is there a cost associated with the assessment you do before the birthing process, before the birthing day?
Pardon, go again?
Is there a cost associated with the assessment of the household before the day for giving birth?
I'm not hearing.
So when you go to check, when you go to the home and you're doing the assessment prior to the actual day that you choose or whenever the delivery happens, is there a cost associated with that assessment?
No. Everything is free. The midwife is there for you right through. You pay nothing, right? So.
All right. In terms of knowing if a mother is high risk or low risk, how do you do that assessment?
All right. So we would have been seeing that mother during her antenatal period, and we would have assessed that if the mother is high risk. So when we say high risk, we mean that if there's a condition or possible condition that should develop that could cause harm to the mother and or baby, that patient is not eligible, right? There's an eligibility process that takes place before home birth can be considered for a client. And so you should not have any history of high blood pressure, diabetes, previous surgery, heart conditions, kidney disease, any form of condition, as I said before, that can pose a risk to mother and or baby. That client is not eligible for the process. All right, it must not be your first baby. Number 6 and above, you go to the hospital. So number 2, number 3, number 4, and the 5th baby can be delivered at home once the client meets all these criteria.
Okay, does the birthing take place, because you know sometimes we see in the movies in a bathtub or you know on a bed. Where exactly is this most suitable place in the home to actually deliver the baby?
All right, you know, we're getting to the water birthing, which will be taking place hopefully soon, as I'm seeing where a lot of persons are requesting this. So that will be coming in a matter of time once training is done and stuff. But overall, we want to know that there is at least a room that is can be given to that mother during that labor and delivery process, right? Because you still want to maintain her privacy. All right. So when we go for the home assessment, we look at all these conditions. Is there water? Is there electricity? Because there are times when the home deliveries occur at nights. Will I not have electricity? Is the area safe that I'm going into? Will there be harm to the midwife? These are some of the things that we look at. And once all these conditions are right, then we plan our home delivery.
So, you know, Jamaica, we have, you know, very remote communities. And so I've always been an advocate for midwifery because many times the access to healthcare, you know, many women have to travel long miles and so forth to even get to the nearest hospital. But what would you say are the benefits versus the in-hospital, you know, births versus at-home delivery? Supported by midwives.
As I said before, you're having your baby in the comfort of your home. That in itself just helps you with the birthing process. You have your family members there. You have that oxytocin with the partner being there. And we find that when the partner is there to encourage and be there in proximity to that client, we find that these clients progress more right?
Which is not
So-
allowed in the public system.
Right, which is no longer allowed in the public system unless you're going to be going privately.
Yes. Yes. Okay. If persons want to know more about how, if they can become eligible to have an at-home birth, where do they find that information? At-home birth supported by a midwife.
All right, so every health center, well, every community has a health center that is assigned to them, and every health center has a midwife assigned there. I would encourage all the ladies, please get to know your midwife in your community and you develop a relationship. The midwife is not only for the mother and the baby, the midwife is for the family and also the community. So that relationship is necessary, all right? So, I mean, you can always reach out to your midwives. We're very, 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 very comfortable people. We're competent in our craft. We're very autonomous and such the like. And I also want to say that for those persons who are, a little iffy to say, nurse, what if something happens? All your registered midwives are competent people. We would have had to go to school. We would have had to sit the exam set by the Nursing Council of Jamaica.
Right.
We would have been certified. And we would have had to do at least 1 year of experience in a major hospital. So for myself, I would have had to do at least 1 year in the Cornell Regional Hospital for me to be eligible to become a midwife in the primary healthcare system. So I would have been exposed to most, if not all of the conditions that can possibly take place. You're monitored just the same as if you're in the hospital. So if I see something going wrong, I am going to move with you. And another thing to note though, most midwives are drivers. So all the time my vehicle will be parked outside. So if I see an abnormality, trust me, I'm going to contact the hospital so they know I'm on my way and I'm going with you in right now.
Okay.
All right.
Nothing to fear.
Okay, and
All
you
right.
do have a YouTube page, Midwife par Excellence. Is this where we see more videos, more content?
Yes, I would encourage everyone, all my ladies, even my gentlemen.
Yes.
I have something on there for you too in the form of prostate cancer, but there's a lot of information there, how to pack your delivery bag, the must-haves that you must have at home. All these things you can go on YouTube at Midwife par Excellence, and you can also reach me on Instagram as well. If it is that you want to reach me personally, you can give me a direct message on Instagram, and I will definitely respond to you. And bear in mind that all the midwives island-wide are interconnected at some point. So if you're in another parish and you wish to have home delivery, just reach out to me if it is that you are not sure who is your midwife in your area, and I will make that link for you.
What is the name on
Awesome.
Instagram to find you? Is it the same as the YouTube channel?
A Midwife par Excellence,
All right.
right across.
All right.
Well, thank you so
Yes,
much for
thank
that
you.
bountiful of information
Yes,
there.
yes, yes.
And we look forward to safe deliveries as we continue through this pandemic and beyond. Thank you for joining us. Viewers, stay with us. Sunrise continues after these messages.